Hey, so I decided to make this video today because I woke up feeling a really high level of anxiety and stress. And in fact, I had dreams this morning that were extremely stressful. And you may find yourself waking up that way or feeling that way throughout your day. And I just wanted to share the process that I go through to get myself out of that state. Because a lot of us just tend to have those feelings and then we allow that sensation, those thoughts, all of that kind of negativity, that stress energy to proliferate throughout our day, throughout our lives. And for me, when I did that, I ended up super depressed, super anxiety ridden. Things in my life continued to get worse, and I got chronic fatigue and a bunch of other stuff because of the depression and because of the negative thought that was just proliferating throughout myself, throughout my being. And I just wanted to share with you that you have control over what you're thinking. You may not have control over some of the situations in your life, but you do have control over how you're thinking about them. And if you wake up in a place like I did today, or you find yourself in a place like I did today, it is within your power to shift out of that place. Even though you may still feel uncomfortable in life, it's just so important to really reframe everything that you're thinking so that you can move into a place of more personal empowerment, and then your life actually starts flowing more. So I am in a situation right now which is really stressful. And it feels really stressful. And so I'm going to be feeling the stress daily. But if I allow myself to continue to think to myself, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I don't have this, I don't have that. And I am constantly focusing on what is negative, then I will start feeling emotionally really negative. And I may get back into depression. I may be anxious all the time. I may just be stressed all the time. And that is just not a place I want to go back to. I was able to get myself out of a place that was just so incredibly negative. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because we can all do this for ourselves. We can all change the way that we're thinking about things and really put into play some practices to take us from a space where we might be suffering a little bit emotionally because of what's going on in life and looking at things in a doom and gloom way, to really saying, okay, yes, this is happening. This is happening. I'm not going to, line it with puppies and kittens and flowers. The situation that I'm in right now, for me, is not the most comfortable situation, right? So I have to acknowledge that it's happening, but do I have to sit and ruminate on it in a negative way continually? No, that is within my control. So it's morning right now for me. I think I woke up about 2 hours ago. The first thing I did was acknowledge that I was feeling super duper stressed and had a dream about this stress in my life, and had to think to myself, okay, this is what I'm feeling in this moment. What do I do now to get myself out of this place? And what I have done so far is, one, I meditated. And what I meditated on was all of the good feelings and all of the good things that are going on in my life and all of the good things that I see for myself in the future. It's so important to take the moment that you're in where you're feeling stress and you're in this present moment where it feels really stressful, and then say, okay, this might be happening now. I'm not going to pay attention to this is happening now. I'm going to look into my future and see what I want for myself in the future, right? And really focus on what it would feel like if you had those things that you would like for yourself in the future, and put yourself into that energetic and really think to yourself, gosh, whatever it is, if you want to be a multimillionaire, if you want to be a famous speaker, if you want to be really successful in a relationship, whatever it is, close your eyes and visualize what that feels like when you're there. What does it feel like if your bank account has $1 million in it? What does it feel like if you're in love and it is just so wholesome and self like fulfilling, right? What does it feel like to have a career that is everything that you want, that's your passion and that you want to go do every day? What does it feel like? Close your eyes and think to yourself, what does this feel like? And really get in touch with that sensation. And even though it's not happening right now, and even though your life is not what you want it to be like right now, that doesn't mean that it can't happen in the future. And so what we're doing by staying in this stress place where we are right now, and we're not focusing on what it could be, is we're stopping that could be from happening. We're staying stagnant. We're staying in this place by focusing on how bad it is right now and how uncomfortable it is right now. And that kept me in depression for years and years of my life, years of my life. So it's so important to stop, to acknowledge, okay, yes, right now, what's happening feels out of alignment for me. I don't like it. It doesn't feel comfortable. Now, what do I want my life to look like? Okay, I want it to be this way. And then close your eyes and literally daydream, visualize what it would feel like if that was happening for you right now in this moment. And once you can get in touch with that feeling, you can start to shift your internal sensations, even though it's not happening right now, because you're recognizing that there could be something else for you in life. You're not cutting yourself off from change. You're not cutting yourself off from the fact that these things can happen for you, okay? Anything can happen for us. We don't actually know what's going to come to us in the future unless we sit there and really just stay here in this present or focus on the past. I mean, there's so much of my depression where I was not only focusing on the bad sensations that I was having in the present, but continually replaying the stories of the past instead of saying, okay, I don't feel great right now. All that stuff happened and it was not amazing. What do I want? Where do I want to go? What do I want to feel like? And really focusing on that. So that's what I'm doing today. And you know what? I am so far from where I was, and I would consider myself a pretty huge success in so many ways. I'm also human, and it doesn't matter how successful the person is, they still wake up with certain anxieties, certain stresses. They're still experiencing certain emotions in their life, and it's how people deal with those emotions, which is why I make these videos. Like I said, I'm successful. I have a life that is successful. I have so many things going for me, and still, I am in a situation that is stressful. It is not easy to take care of a loved one who is declining, and to not know exactly what my financial future is when it all comes down. However, I have so many things that are like jamming in my life, and still I have these feelings because I'm human. So I want to share them with you, because even though I may be more successful than some and less successful than others, where my success lies is in how I redesign my thought process and how I use my practices to pull myself out of this place where, I wake up feeling this way almost every morning still, no matter what's going on in my life. Even when I'm at my happiest, I still have this. It's some sort of old, like, intrinsic design, and maybe I won't someday, but I still do. And it's on us to take the time to redirect what we're thinking about, to look at our stressful situation and go, okay, this feels stressful right now. It is temporary. What can I do to take action to alleviate some of the stress? Like, what is it that the stress point is? What can I do to take action to push forward so that there's less stress on that? And how can I redesign my thought in order to really have a much more positive spin? And I'm not saying be positive all the time. That's why I'm making these videos, because I'm not positive all the time. It is choosing to make a different thought happen and not stay negative that makes me positive. Okay, that makes me optimistic, that makes me successful, that brings me into a different place and allows me to go forward and actually get to that future that I'm envisioning for myself. So if you find yourself stressed, if you find yourself anxious, and you are just ruminating, you are going around and around and around about all your stresses in life, stop. Just stop. It doesn't mean that they're not there. It doesn't mean that it's not stressful, because guaranteed it is, especially right now. Life out there is stressful. It just means that you don't need to put your focus completely on that all the time. You need to shift your focus to something that is going to be more beneficial so that you can pull yourself out of that stressful place, out of that emotional place that is negative. Because I can guarantee you that if you stay there ruminating on all, and if you don't know what ruminating means, it means thinking about something all the time. If you stay there ruminating on these negative things, you're never going to allow yourself to move forward and out of that place, because your focus is there. Your focus is not on something that is more positive that could be coming out of it. And I heard a quote today. Let me see. I wrote it down. Two things, actually. So this says, every challenge is an opportunity in disguise, right? So looking at your challenges as some form of an opportunity. We don't realize that the challenge that we're being faced with right now is creating some form of growth that could bring in that thing that we've been wanting for so long. We just have to get through the challenge. But if we're faced with a challenge and we're like, oh my gosh, a challenge, this is terrible, awful, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the negative self-talk that we tell ourselves all the time. I mean, what goes on in my head, I would never want my child to be thinking. I would feel so sad if that's how my child was speaking to himself inside his mind. So think about that. Are you speaking to yourself in a way that you would ever want anybody else to be thinking to themselves? And usually the answer is no. So why are you doing it? And how can you change it? And the other thing that I learned today, I didn't learn it, but it just reiterated something I already know, is that negative self-talk strengthens the neural pathways to self-doubt. Okay. So if you don't know anything about the new science, neuroscience, we have neural pathways in our brain. And the more we think in a certain way, the stronger those neural pathways get. And they have a tendency to take over, which is why people end up in depression, which is why people end up with severe anxiety disorders, because they've continually strengthen those neural pathways by thinking about the doom and gloom things, by thinking about all the things that are going wrong in their lives. So when you start to reframe things and you start to look for more positive things, like this challenge is just going to bring me more of an opportunity, instead of, oh my gosh, this challenge is too much for me. So if you continue to think this challenge is going to bring me opportunity, it's just an opportunity in disguise. I can get through this. I could do anything. I just need to take some action steps. I know where I'm going. This is what I want for my future. Yes, this feels uncomfortable right now, but I am moving through it. If you start thinking that way, you will be strengthening the positive neural pathways in your mind that lead to success. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to share this because we're all human, and I make my videos. This is just me. I'm not putting makeup on. I just got out of the shower. I'm, dressed in yoga clothes. I'm about to get on my computer and make another book. I am just another human. I happen to be a successful human. Why do I call myself successful? Because I pulled myself out of depression, morbid depression. I was about to check out. I pulled myself out of that myself by using these principles, by using these practices. And I am now living a life where, despite the morning doldrums that I have sometimes, you know, I live in a general state of happiness and contentedness and feeling successful and feeling like I can take on anything. And that's a big deal, you know, and I'm financially okay, even though for me, at my level and what I want more. But I think we all do, you know, I think we all do. I want that multimillionaire status so that I can help more people in this world. And I'll get there. There's no question in my mind that I won't get there. But, you know, it's just one of those things. You have to continually tell yourself something good in order to strengthen those neural pathways so that you can continue to succeed. You can continue to move off the negative path that you're on. And for me, that was depression that was so bad I was in bed for 4 years, you know, and before that I had it, and before that I had it. And I have not had depression like that in any shape or form in 4 years, 5 years, just about, and maybe five years. Yeah, something like that. I don't even know how long it's been because I don't think that way anymore, because I take these practices and I make the change that I need to make so that I can move through my life in a more positive way, so that I can allow those doors of opportunity to open in front of me, and I can continue to walk the path of success and get to my ultimate goal, right? So I'm just sharing this with you so that you can take the time to change your mindset. Acknowledge, yes, acknowledge that something is crappy right now. That's fine. That's just now. It's temporary. And then figure out a way to put your focus on what the positive things are in your life. Okay? What is positive that is happening? And focus on that, and then take action toward making more positive things happen in your life, and disallow the anxiety from running and ruling you, and disallow the negative, you know, stressful emotions from running you and ruling you, and worrying about stuff. You cannot do that, because it's just going to keep you in the same place. And I know you don't want to be in that place, because I didn't. All right, that's all I have to share for today. I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you have a good day, and go strengthen those positive neuro pathways.